studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Halftime today is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Sherwood, and Jonesboro. Buffalo Wild Wings.
Hey, hold on, it's almost halftime.
Hey, how's everybody doing today? Good to be back. It is a lovely, gorgeous, bright, and sunny now afternoon in the city of Orlando, Florida, where I am holed up in a hotel room with, I was about to say with Arkansas women's basketball. They're not in the room with me.
It'd be a little weird if y'all sharing a hotel room.
It really would. We share a room when we're eating, but it's a large room with lots of tables,
yes,
places for people to sit and eat. The team's at shoot-around right now, getting ready for a really tough road game against UCF. So it's good to be on the road with women's basketball. Matty T and Drew are holding down the fort in Barling today. And everything is according to plan, I think. Everything's good. Like yesterday was just like a normal, regular day is what it sounded like to me. So it's good to know that
yeah, it was good.
The lights are on, and here we are. So I had my Friday, my Saturday, my Sunday all rolled into one last night yesterday. And what happened in the offing? You had a Razorback men's basketball win over UCA. Just like a lot of games, I mean, there's some what is going on here moments when you wouldn't expect Arkansas to really trail for very long against UCA. Not a very good basketball team, and Hogs kind of struggled through the first half and then blow them out in the second half. And winning a game by 37 that you led by 6 at halftime. Mm-hmm. And I know we'll point to, free throw shooting woes and everything like that, but it just, sometimes I don't know if it's the matter of the opponent or if it's just the DNA of the basketball team or what is it. Another slow start. And, you can't just count on snapping your fingers and getting things going. But, against UCA, I think you can kind of count on that. You knew that at some point they would just pick up and run away with it.
Yeah, you knew eventually the Razorbacks were going to take over and, extend the lead and basically put this one away, which is exactly what they did. I think, a lot of times, especially when you talk about being the number 10th ranked team in the country, being the big school of the state, playing against the other schools in the natural state, it's their Super Bowl, and they come out hot, they come out ready, but eventually depth and talent eventually takes over, and that's kind of what happened in the second half. First half, it was great job by Central Arkansas of keeping it close, of being able to basically answer a lot of runs and, come if Arkansas made a three, Central Arkansas came right back down the floor and answered. So, it was nice to see, the first half effort by them, but you knew as the game went on, it's eventually going to get away from Central Arkansas. You knew Arkansas was going to run away with it, and that's exactly what they did. The question mark, though, was the free throws, because you never want to be 50% or lower. You never want to be biting your fingernails worried that the game's going to come down to a missed free throw. I've been there before. It is absolutely horrendous. It's horrifying to watch, not knowing if your team can make a free throw. So that's got to get worked out. But that's the thing. You're still sitting here at 6-0, and we've talked, I think, after every single game about things that need to get worked out, right? You need to get three-point defense worked out. You need to get shot selection worked out. Now you need to get free throw shooting worked out. And while you'd like everything to come together through 6 games, I don't think outside of maybe 2 games about the three-point defensive play, you haven't had to worry about fixing the same thing, right? You've gotten things down. So there's still a lot of pluses to take away. And I mean, of course, when you win a game by 37, that's nothing to scoff at.
Look, I mean, it's not a throwaway game because it's a Division I opponent. You know, it's somebody that, just like you're saying, is coming in fired up for their – can't be a Super Bowl because it's a basketball game. Let's say it's like for UCA, it's their Game 7 of the NBA Finals, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, you're just going to – and I hate using terms like this, but you're going to out-athlete a team like that 10 times out of 10, especially when you have the athletes that Arkansas has. 60 points in the paint out of 97, you know, and I know that getting to the rim and – the mid-range game is a big portion of this Arkansas ball club, but it's going to be pretty rare that you outscore a team by 44 points in the paint for the remainder of the season. I don't know, just taking a guess.
Yeah, you're just not going to have that size difference like you had last night. I
don't really know what to take from yesterday other than it's the DNA of the team right now. It just takes a little bit of time to get going. You know, I know the game before that against Penn, it's the same thing. It took a little bit of time to get going. This just seems the DNA of the club. As far as the free throw shooting is concerned, like most of the misses yesterday came from good foul shooters. Like Devontae Davis goes 4 of 7. Devo this year, his foul shooting is he's 6 out of 11. He shot in the 70s last year, 76%. You would assume that he is more of the 76% foul shooter than the guy that's just a little bit over 500. Amude is the same way. Amude is a 74% career foul shooter. I mean, he is what he is by now, right?
Yeah.
He's now 6 of 13 this year and was 2 of 6 yesterday.
I mean,
so again, that's one of those things. I would just assume he's going to not regress to the mean. He's going to get better because I mean, what are you after 4 years of college? You're 74% foul shooter.
Exactly.
Now, right?
Pretty much know what you are. And another example of how it's just kind of weird from the line, Connor Vanover last night doubled his career missed free throws as a Razorback. He'd come into the game shooting 24-26 from the line.
Yeah.
He was 0 for 2 yesterday.
Yeah. So I don't
it was just a weird night.
It's one of those weird games. I mean, he was 20 out of 21 last year at the foul line.
Yeah.
He misses 2 yesterday. Doesn't make any sense. So, honestly, I wouldn't worry too much.
Was there a light bulb out somewhere in Bud Walton Arena that was messing with the angle? Somebody have a laser pointer? I mean, there had to have been something.
Watch out. Someone from the Conway Log Cabin Democrat, up in the media area, might have had a little laser with them pointing it at somebody's eyes. It's the only way you can get a team that's really it should be a better foul shooting team to figure it out. So, all right, so now you get a game against Little Rock on Saturday, and I don't know too much about the Trojans this year, but it is another one of those. I mean, that program's just a couple of steps ahead of UCA, but it's another one of the teams that you just feel like you might be able to out-athlete. And I guess maybe when you have an understanding, as these guys know, the players know, they're better athletes than they have over at UCA. You can say that about most of the teams Arkansas has played in the non-conference. You can't necessarily say that about every team they're going to be playing in the SEC. So having one of those halves where you just don't seem like you're all there, that's gonna end up rising up, and it could bite you in the rear.
I mean, eventually, when you get into better competition, when you get into conference play, you can't continuously expect yourself to only have a small lead in going into half or be down going into half and expect that, it's fine. We're a second half team. We're going to come out. We're going to pull it out. Eventually, you're going to dig a deep enough hole to, regardless of how well you play in the second half, you're just not going to be able to dig out of.
That's exactly right. All right, 877-377-6963 for your calls and texts today. What do you got going on in sports? You actually have a college football league championship game tomorrow. Pac-12 is tomorrow night. And you get the rest of them on Saturday. You got NFL tonight, Saints and Cowboys. Major League Baseball. Oh, the billionaires have locked out the millionaires, or the 100,000-aires in some cases. And we've got a women's basketball game to preview tonight. We'll speak later on in the show with Danny West from Hogs Sports, 24/7 Sports in the second hour, getting into recruiting because, hey, it's coming up in like less than 2 weeks. Real signing. Don't call it early signing. It isn't anymore. Now it's the real signing
We
day.
should call it signing day and late signing day more like now, right?
Is Danny going to be in Fayetteville?
I don't know where he is. He told me he was traveling the other day when he came on
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Danny's traveling. Drew and I are in Barling. Phil's in Orlando. It truly is a small world after all, Phil.
I hear that in the background now. You know, and we're on the other side of town from all the fun stuff with Disney, so I can't smell what Disney and Mickey and Minnie and Donald and all of them are trying to do to us right now.
You know, they pump incense like when you're walking down Main Street and you're smelling like fresh baked cookies and cinnamon bread. It's all fake smells that they pump out to.
Oh yeah, because it's supposed to be the happiest place on earth, and those smells make you happy.
For the happiest place on earth, though, man, there's a lot of whiny little kids.
Oh yeah, that's everywhere.
Would it be a lot better without the kids there?
100%.
Is it the
whiny Disney World without kids?
Is it the whiniest place on earth as well?
That's probably a more accurate, most expensive place.
Not gonna lie, Phil. Me and Maddie took a little glee and a little happiness knowing that you weren't at Disney World yesterday.
Oh, that's all right.
We were kind of happy about it.
Well, we were close enough to a couple of rides downtown last night that I could have gotten up on them, but couldn't convince anybody else to go on those with me.
Could have probably made it over to like Old Town in Kissimmee.
Hey, can I put in a Disney request? Like, because now that you're playing an earworm here, so good luck not hearing this song again once you hear it. Pirates of the Caribbean, please.
All right.
Yeah, because that's the other one I need to hear.
It's a Small World is a terrible ride, too.
I've never been to Disney World, so I don't know.
It's not even really a ride. It's just like, it's just like sitting on a boat.
Yeah. With their head just turning back and forth.
Bob Holt will join us bottom of this hour, too. So a lot of basketball, a lot of football. And it looks like we might need to help Drew out with some birthday shopping and some other stuff. I think the fact is most of us need help buying gifts.
Yes, I do.
A lot of guys just suck at doing that. So we'll see what happens. All right, halftime back after this quick break.
I think you can be awfully proud of the way your fans are with you. I've never seen stands so full of life. The whole state was behind you. There was a spirit there about it, Coach, and that means that your team has done something that's really great for this state.
Thank you, sir. We're very proud of our fans. They've had a big part in the success that we've had.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Traylon down the sideline. Touchdown, Arkansas!
The Big Hearty has 2 juicy charbroiled beef patties, melted cheese, and classic sauce. It's what you order from Hardee's when you want a big meal. A big, beefy, melted, cheesy meal. And with 3 juicy charbroiled beef patties, the really Big Hearty is what you order when you want a really big, meaty meal. A really big charbroiled beefy meal. A really big, beefy, melted, cheesy, juicy, tasty. You get the idea. The Big Hearty and
back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the #1 source for everything football. Head to your website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of these amazing offers for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession? Admission is acknowledging the truth of something. Confession is a formal statement agreeing that you're guilty. Greg Allman admitted he's no angel, but that doesn't mean he confessed his guilt before God. Romans 10:10 says, one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Confess to God that Jesus died in your guilty place, and then you'll receive His amazing grace. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Pray about it.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. You'll find 10 bedrooms with 19 beds for up to 28 guests, 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, poker table, 2 kitchens, 2 laundry rooms, a fire pit, 2 gas grills, outdoor basketball court, a heated indoor swimming pool nearby, and a 10-minute drive to Silver Dollar City. Not to mention near some of the best golf courses. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO. We're back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests.
Need a little bit more halftime in your life? Make sure to download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith has the best deals in the River Valley on liquor, beer, and wine. Stop by 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith and make sure to check out their Facebook page for weekly specials. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast is part of the Hit That Line Podcast Network and is available wherever you listen to podcasts.
See across SEC basketball yesterday. Florida lost to Oklahoma. You had the South Carolina Gamecocks lose to the Chanticleers. There's 2 chickens fighting each other. Coastal Carolina wins. Wow, 80-56. What happened to your Memphis Tigers, Drew? What happened to What happened to East-West Memphis?
Oh no,
going to Georgia. I mean, that very well could be the worst team in the SEC. The Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah. So Georgia coming into the game 6-2. My alma mater coming in at 6-1, number 18th in the country. And you could have convinced me that it was the other way around. And Penny said it even himself last night, and which I don't know how much I agree with, talking about how everybody's out there to play for themselves. He doesn't know what's going on. The team doesn't feel like they need to win or don't really have the intensity to win. And my biggest thing about it is you can't recruit AAU guys and then get mad when they don't want to be team players. Like, these are the guys that you recruited. You knew that every single one of these guys wanted to be ball in hand first type of guys. And at the same time, you can't be puzzled when you talk about after that first loss, you go, oh, well, you know that offense that I implemented last year that won 17 out of 19 games, I'm now going to put that back into the system. Well, why weren't you starting off with that? Why is it the player's fault? Why isn't it, your fault? You've got one of the most knowledgeable basketball staffs of all time. I mean, it's former NBA All-Star Penny Hardaway. You have Hall of Fame coach Larry Brown, former NBA Finals player and champion in Rasheed Wallace. You have Cody Toppert, who is one of the top assistant coaches in the country as well. You've got all this wonderful basketball knowledge.
They've got to find a way to convince these kids to learn how to be team first instead of me first. Now, I'm just saying that without watching the game, going by what you're saying here. But that's what coaching is. Sometimes it's it's figuring out the sort of style you want to play, the sort of system you play. But it's also convincing athletes that they might not necessarily be at that moment what they want to be at that moment, right?
Right. Well, here's Penny's exact words from his post-game last night. There aren't enough guys in the locker room who care about winning unless they're the ones helping us win. It's not team. That's the danger of having a lot of talent. The talent has to want to play together, and right now that talent doesn't want to play together, which I quote tweeted that and basically said, talent is there. Legendary coaching staff for 200 years of basketball knowledge is there. The hype, a.k.a. DeSmoke, because we all remember DeSmoke, is there. Playing team basketball is not there. Taking smart shots there. Looking like an elite team that can make a March run is definitely not there. I mean, it's got to turn around. Otherwise, I've already been threatened that I'm not going to get a Christmas present at the Christmas party I have to miss, too, because I'm going to Nashville for the Memphis-Tennessee game. I don't want to spend a few $100, travel, what would that be?
To watch a bad game?
14-hour round trip to watch Rick Barnes bend Penny and the Tigers over his knee.
Yeah.
And that's what it feels like. I mean, for the incredible freshmen that you have on the team, the hype guys, Amani Bates and Jalen Dern coming into this season, first 3 games, they looked like the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
The last few games, they've averaged 8 points, and it looked terrible.
This, to me, begs the question. I always revert back to looking at how Moses Moody came into Arkansas last year already in his DNA being a team-first guy, like being not a pass-first guy, but somebody that did what the team needed, not what he felt, he needed to do for himself to score points and do all of these things.
Exactly.
And Moses still ended up leading Arkansas in scoring and, gets himself as a lottery pick and is in the NBA right now. But he came in with that thought already because he was not the dude on a team full of dudes.
And I hope it turns around. Like, honestly, it makes me pretty. You can feel the passion in it because the passion's there for me. I've been a lifelong fan, proud alumni. Like, I want this team to do better. But honestly, after being around Arkansas and about Eric Musselman's program and his philosophy and everything these last 6 months, I'd rather have Adis Toney and Jalen Williams right now than I would having Jalen Dunn and Amani Bates, two of top 10 recruits last year. I'd much rather have Toney and Williams.
Well, I mean, these guys are also not finished products necessarily because Jalen's only in his second year. Toney is, I mean, he's really something else. He really is. 16 points, 7 of 8 shooting yesterday, and I didn't hear Muss say anything about this, but I don't think they ran a play for him again. Would you even run a single play for Adis Toney? Is a play for Adis Toney?
You don't have to.
Go get that missed shot or go get that loose ball, and we'll find you, and you'll make a play, and you'll end up, getting a bucket off of it. So he's another one of those guys that's like, I think he knows he'll get his if he just does what he's good at.
What he's supposed to, right? Exactly. I mean, that's the whole point of team basketball. Yeah, you might not be the guy, but you're going to be one of the main guys, and as long as you can buy into that and you can believe that this is how we win, then you can have a lot of success. That's been the problem with the Memphis program the last few years under Penny is it doesn't seem like anybody wants to buy in.
Well, they buy in.
Even your senior leadership guys don't really seem like they want to buy in. They still want to be the guy with the ball in their hands.
That's one thing the coach has to do is to be able to get somebody to buy in, right? And so, you can point to game decisions or, who you give the minutes to and all that kind of stuff. But part of coaching is communicating to players to buy into the way you view them in your system. And there's still like that last year's team with Eric Musselman, dude, they bought in 100. I never go higher than 100%. That team went 110% buying in to the way.
And that's why they made an Elite Eight because they bought in.
You could see this team doing the same thing, but it's just, like I'm talking about last year's team buying in. I don't think they had bought in 100% over the first 7 games. Like it took a little bit of time for them to really buy in. And, you did have your back-to-back really embarrassing losses to Alabama and LSU, and then things just started rolling downhill from there, and the buy-in was obvious. This women's game you got tonight against UCF is really interesting because this is like Arkansas is like the fastest-paced team in the country, 8th leading scoring team in the nation at 85 points per game. UCF, it's like a race to 50. So as you've completely different styles going up against each other. And so I know Mike said this and read it in the newspaper, Mike Neighbors, Arkansas's DNA for the women's basketball team is to run, and 18 to 22 points per quarter, something like that. Like they have to be okay if they don't have the 18 to 22 points at the end of the first quarter, or even if they're in the 40s or at 35 by the time you get into halftime, because that just doesn't happen with a team like the Golden Knights that walks it and will zone you. And so you got to find a different way to win, because this is, even Mike says, this is not a game where they can set the pace. It's going to be almost impossible to do that. And I've always felt like I hear pitching coaches tell me this a lot with how they try to teach pitchers and catchers about how to use your repertoire against certain hitters.
Mm-hmm.
You go with your strength, even if it goes against that batter's strength. You don't want to lose on your third best pitch or your worst pitch, right?
No,
so
you
a
never
basketball team, you would think it'd be like the same way, but there's just a certain pace to a basketball game that you can't do anything about. If that team's going to walk it up and not run it and not push it, that's just going to remove the number of possessions that you have. So now you got to value each possession differently. And for a team that is used to getting, like 80, 85 possessions per game, you're going to end up with a lot less than that. So this will be the lowest scoring game for the Razorbacks this year, outside of maybe the SMU game, because they just weren't hitting a lot of shots in that one. It's a 6 o'clock tip. Is it 6 o'clock or 5? I hate when we go into a different – I hate these time zones. I understand we have to have them, but it's so frustrating. What time is our freaking game today? All right. It is it's 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern. It's always good to know when you got to show up somewhere.
Just don't miss the bus.
That includes making appointments at Riley Farm Dental. Riley Farm Dental is at 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, the entrance to Riley Farms in Fort Smith, right there at Highway 71. Riley Farm Dental is Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan. They'll serve to give patients better lives and have comfortable experiences. All your dental procedures are provided at Riley Farm Dental, including braces, implants, and cosmetics. Been voted top 3 best of the best 4 years running. That's consistency. You can see more at RileyFarmDental.com. You can make an appointment calling 226-3500, and that's Riley Farm Dental at 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A. All right, we're talking with Bob Holt from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette next on Halftime.
Motivation for love to call my own. But when I feel that I can't go on. But these precious words keep me hanging on. I remember Mama said, no, you just have to wait. She said, love don't come easy. When it's a game of give and take, you can't have it, love. No, you just have to wait.
Halftime is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center. 4 generations making your family dreams come true.
At Napa, we keep things moving. If it has wheels and an engine, we help keep it on the road. And if it's on the road, we have parts for it. And if you need a part, you can get it fast, like same-day pickup or next-day delivery fast. At Napa, when we're not thinking about cars, we're thinking about the people who drive them. Because when it comes to serving you and our community, our motor never quits. That's Napa know-how. Same-day pickup and next-day delivery available at participating stores and on in-stock items only.
It's not just boughs of holly that are going to deck your halls this holiday season. It's you decking the whole house with outdoor lights and holiday decor from the Home Depot. Fill your yard with Yuletide treasure like a hand-painted LED reindeer sculpture. Want to build a snowman? You can, with our 6-foot sparkling snowman covered in lights. You can even pair it with a Disney inflatable Sven. You know, from the movie your kids still watch 3 times a day. 'Tis the season to make things jolly, and the Home Depot has everything you need to make the holidays yours. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Wake up your happy at Hardee's with the new $3 French toast dips. Wait, what? French toast dips sprinkled with powdered sugar and served with a side of syrup. Sugary, syrupy, dippable. Sweeten up your morning at Hardee's. Try the new $3 French toast dips at Hardee's. The sweet one on the 2-3 more breakfast menu. Feed your happy. Available during regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's restaurants. Tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
You've trained for this all year. Endless hours of cardio, conditioning, and weights. And now you are ready. Ready to trek back to your seat from the concession stand. Through the lines, lost fans, and that mascot who wants you to do a little dancey dance, all without spilling a drop of your ice-cold Bud Light. Welcome back to football, sports fans.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Have you been looking for your next place to call home and just haven't found the right one? Then it's time to check out the properties at Trinity Multifamily. With a variety of apartments, duplexes, townhomes, and houses, there is surely one to fit your needs. Whether it's in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, or Central Arkansas that you are looking at, they have you covered. Give them a call today. Trinity Multifamily, 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
Winter is just around the corner. Don't get caught out in the cold. Did you know you could save up to 60% on your heating bill by converting to safe, reliable natural gas from AOG? The savings can actually pay for your conversion cost. In addition, natural gas can deliver your energy needs on the coldest day, even when the power is out. Call 784-2000 or visit AOGC.com and switch to natural gas today. AOG, energy for life.
Make a Wake Bait and Tackle on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma has everything a fisherman needs. Rods, reels, tackle, plastics, all kinds of great baits to catch a wall hanger. Rods starting at $69.95. The biggest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reaction Innovation, Bobby Garland, Lake Fork Coogan, and more. And Make a Wake has Daiwa rods and reels, and they repair them too. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! Love and happiness. But wait a minute, something's going wrong. Someone's on the phone, 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, talking about how she can make it right, yeah.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
This song puts a smile on my face. So does talking with Bob Holt. Bob also always sounds like he's got a smile on his face. He's a pretty happy person. And I missed him last week because we didn't have a show on Thursday. I did see Bob at the Battle Line Rivalry on Friday, so got a chance to say hi. Bob, did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was nice. I was up in Kansas City covering the games. I had some family up there, so I was able to spend Thanksgiving with them, which is nice because, sometimes, you're working on Thanksgiving. I've spent a lot of Thanksgivings on the road, or a few anyway, and so it was nice to see some family, have a nice big family dinner before I came back for the football game.
That's great, yeah. And then we were all a big family in the press box, right? Yeah, just like always. All right, Bob, I want to ask you, top of the list of things that you think Arkansas basketball might be able to improve upon. And I don't want to look at this negatively because the team's undefeated. They're ranked 10th. They're a lot of fun to watch. But there are obviously concerns: 3-point shooting, 3-point defense, energy in the first half. Like, if I were to ask you, what's top of the list? That if you were to ask Eric Musselman, what do you want to fix? What is it? And it doesn't have to be a stat. I mean, it can just be energy in the first half, which does seem to be, maybe a concern going back not just this year, last year, the year before too. What would you say?
Yeah, well, I'd say Eric could say a few different things. But yeah, probably 3-point shooting. The 3-point defense has kind of been there and not been there. Last night UCA had 7 of 10 in the first half and then 2 of 11 in the second half. Some of that I think was maybe UCA cooling off, and some of it was Arkansas getting in their face a little bit more. But you look at the games in Kansas City and then the Penn game and then this game. last night, and Arkansas, 3-point shooting is in the 20 percentile, I think, or something like that. It's not good. But I do think I don't know if this is a great 3-point shooting team, and I don't know if they have to rely on 3-pointers to win. I mean, obviously, they rebound pretty well. I think they play pretty good defense to get transition points a lot. They force turnovers. But they're going to need to shoot a higher percentage than they have been to win in the SEC. But, a lot of that I think probably comes down to maybe some guys taking better threes and maybe getting a guy like Jackson Robinson, who's a really good 3-point shooter, maybe getting him some more minutes. They got him some good minutes last night. I think that was a priority for Eric Musselman, and he'll try to continue to do that. But, yeah, I'd say right now, the thing that you kind of look at it and say, wow, that's not very good. It's the 3-point shooting of late is way below what you'd expect.
One of my concerns recently, and I'm starting to see, a couple other players begin to rise as far as helping J.D. Notae carry the burden of the scoring. For a while there, maybe the first 6 games or so, J.D. was 25% of Arkansas's points and, dominated in terms of shot taking and I think ball handling too. And, of course, that does go along with the fact that he's playing more minutes than anybody else. But recently, seeing Audice Toney score the way he is, but there, it's not from running plays for Audice. It's from him just doing what he does, hustling, offensive rebounding. Seeing Stanley Amude score a little more the past couple of games, for me, that is possibly the second option, the second main scoring option on this team. I know there's likes, but there's something about Amude and that mid-range J, and I think he'll hit his free throws when he gets there. But do you think Stanley Amude is beginning to show a little more of what they thought they'd get from him?
Yeah, because he had 19 against Penn, 17 last night. Tony got ejected a minute into the second half against Penn for getting into it with the player, kind of getting his hands in his face. I didn't think it was anything, terrible, but I guess the refs thought it was enough to flagrant 2 and eject him. And then Amude, had a big second half filling in for him, finished with 19. Last night he missed a dunk. He missed a couple other shots I thought he should have hit, so he could have scored well over 20. But he's a guy that scored 1,500 points at South Dakota, which I realize South Dakota does not play in the SEC and everything, but he's a guy that I think is going to score more. I think it was important that Devo Davis got going last night, really, for the first time this season. I think he'd had a couple games with 10 points, but he got 16 points last night, got most of them in transition. He's a guy that's worked real hard his 3-point shot. He only hit 2 last year, and he's hit a few more this year, but he's a guy that I could see hitting, a couple 3-pointers a game and, getting them in the flow of the offense or whatever. But I think, they definitely need Devo to be more aggressive like he was last night. Talked about his mom and grandmother talk to him and tell him, you need to play, with more joy. And Eric Musselman mentioned that too. That Devo, the way he played, was a guy that kind of fired up Eric last year. So I think we need to see more of that from Devo. And but I do think this is a team with a lot of different guys who can score, a lot of depth. Likes didn't score against Penn, had a rough game, and then last night he came back and had 9 points, but he had 5 assists, which was real good to see. So. I think this you're going to see they've got a lot of different options for guys, to score. Connor Vanover's had some big scoring games at times, so I think they're going to be fine scoring. But I think they'll shoot better from 3. But obviously that's something they got to get solved.
Mm-hmm. But before we get into a little bit of football, we did get to see 13 Razorbacks on the court yesterday, a little bit more than the normal 8 that we've seen most of this season. Out of some of those reserves, some guys that actually got some decent playing time last night, did any of them jump out to you, or kind of you're excited to see how he progresses throughout the season?
Well, yeah, Jackson Robinson, the transfer from Texas A&M, who's from over in Ada, Oklahoma. He was a guy I recruited quite a bit as a high school player, and then he reclassified. He actually left high school a year early, so he's still a pretty young guy. And he's a really good 3-point shooter. He hadn't really shown it that much yet, although he knocked down 1 or 2 last night. But he's a guy, I just think he's a talented player who can help him in a lot of ways. He's got real good length. He's 6'6", but I think his wingspan's bigger than that. He he's a guy you can see, guarding people on the perimeter pretty well. He could probably get some rebounds with that length. But one thing he does especially well is shoot well from the perimeter. And I think if he gets more playing time, he'll do a better job with that. My guess is when you go in, you're only playing limited minutes, and you're in there to hit threes, you probably press some. I guess what was happening to him. But hopefully he'll get, hopefully for him in Arkansas, he'll get some more minutes and be able to play a little freer, a little more relaxed. Like he's a guy that could definitely help him off the bench. Kamani Johnson, who will be playing his old team here on Saturday when Arkansas Little Rock comes in. He's a guy that's, physical player. He does a good job of getting the free throw line. He didn't knock down his free throws last night. Everybody seemed to have a rough free throw shooting game. I don't know if it's contagious or what, but he's a physical player. Trey Wade, a physical guy from Wichita, a very experienced player. He's not super tall. He's 6'6", but he's thick. He's tough. So I think those are three guys that can add to the depth, along with what you've been seeing from Lex and Amude off the bench. And of course, Eric, could have different starting lineups depending on who they're playing. If he wants to go big or small or quicker, but those are guys I think I'd like to see more of to see what they can do.
Mm-hmm. Now that the regular season, the football season is complete. Razorbacks finished 8-4. So many great things that happened. You win all three of the rivalry trophies. Out of the three, which one do you think kind of meant the most, or would be number one on the list for the team that they were able to capture this year?
Well, I mean, they broke losing streaks against all those teams. I would think beating A&M would be the biggest one because, one, they've lost 9 straight years to A&M and had not beaten the Aggies since they got in the SEC. And A&M was ranked 7th at the time. I know they're not ranked 7th now, but A&M had the best season out of those three teams, 8-4, and could have been 10-2, beat Alabama. The only team that's beaten Alabama so far. Obviously, Georgia has something to say about that on Saturday, but I think beating A&M probably meant the most. Although they're all obviously big wins, but I would have to put that A&M one at the top.
Bob, what's your sense on Alabama, Georgia? Think Alabama's got a shot? Keep it close? I think Georgia's going to win like 31-7, something like that. What's your take on this?
Well, yeah, I definitely think Georgia will win. I would think Georgia would win by maybe 14. I'm not even sure what the line is, but I never would want to totally bet against the Nick Saban team. They just kind of found a way to win. I mean, you say, wow, they probably should have lost to Auburn, could have lost to Arkansas, could have lost to LSU, could have lost to Florida. They've had a lot of close games. They just seem to find a way to win. And one thing about Georgia has not been really in close games this year. They've blown everybody out. I guess outside of the Clemson game, that was a close game. That was a defensive, rock fight to open the season. But really, since that Clemson game, they've blown everybody out. So, and of course, we know Georgia has a history of blowing leads, big leads to Alabama. I think they had 14-point lead against them in the national championship game back in 2017 season. Had a 14-point lead, I think, against them in the SEC championship game a couple of years ago. So, and all the pressure's on Georgia. They're number one. I will say this: if Georgia loses, they're still in the playoffs. I think that's probably so. In that regard, the pressure is not on maybe, but they're favored. Kirby Smart wants to beat Nick Saban because they're recruiting against each other for a lot of players, and he wants to beat Saban. I'm sure wants to beat him bad. But I think it'll be a closer game maybe than some people think. I don't think it'll go down to like a field goal or something. But I think Alabama can give them a game for sure. And I just wouldn't want to bet against Nick Saban. I think Georgia will win, but I think it'll be a competitive game.
Well, for those who are watching, I certainly hope it is, because you don't want to be turning your TV off early and you see, hey, let's see what's happening in the ACC championship game. Bob, appreciate you, man. Thanks so much. It was good to get back with you, and looking forward to talking to you later on the next month or next week.
Okay, you guys take care.
Thanks, Bob.
Next week, next month, it's all the same, really. I mean, we'll talk.
Well, it's already December, so it wouldn't be next month.
Well, it would be next week and next, because he's been on the show for 3 years. It's one of these things we can count on.
You're right.
We can count on Bob Holt being with us.
He'll be with us in January.
Hey, you can count on Champion Cycling to have all of the things you need for your kids who need a bike this Christmas season because bicycles are just so much fun. We even got a free one that we can give away to you. There's 2 free bikes we can give away. If you go to hitthatline.com and click on the free bike link at the top of the page, just put in all of your information, and you might have a chance to win Specialized Alley's road bike or a Specialized 12-inch Rip Rock Kids bike. And that's now through December 19th. Brought to you by Champion Cycling, 5500 Massard Road, Fort Smith.
Where can you get an SEC breakfast burrito? SEC! Or a Jack or Hammer sandwich? Or a Moo Pig burger? Moo Pig Suey! You can get all this and more at Black Dog Meat Company in Booneville. Black Dog Meat Company is a fantastic family-owned restaurant serving some of the best breakfast burritos, sandwiches, burgers, beef jerky, and farm-raised Iowa Black Angus beef steaks in the River Valley. Find Black Dog Meat Company's menu, daily specials, and more on Facebook. No black lives were harmed in the making of this food.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Champion Cycling, located at 5500 Massard Road, is a locally owned bike shop in Fort Smith that wants to help you find the joy in cycling that has been a part of their family for years. Their goal is to find the right bike for you, whether it's a road bike, mountain bike, or just a bike for leisure. Champion Cycling is totally stocked and has a large selection of bikes, including brands from Specialized, Pivot, and Look. Whether it's fixing a flat tire or a basic tune-up, their dependable service department is always ready to help. Stop by Champion Cycling today at 5500 Massard Road, and they will help you find your joy in cycling.
For more than 80 years, Forest Grin Inc. has been building the foundations of the River Valley and beyond. Forest Grin, a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence, is now hiring experienced dump truck drivers. CDL Class A or B license with medical card is required. Apply now from any mobile device at forestgrininc.com, a heritage company and a premier employer. Forest Grin offers top wages and benefits. Apply today at forestgrininc.com. Become part of the Forest Grin legacy. Apply now on any device at forestgrininc.com. Forest Grin Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
I tell you, Jeb, I'm fed up with the heat, the bugs, the high prices. I'm gonna look for a new place to live.
You're gonna call Ellie Gladwell? She helped you get this house.
Nah, place I'm looking for is far away, way far away.
Why don't you sleep on it?
I done slept on it. I slept on it for 20 years. I got ideas, Jeb, big ideas. You wait, you'll see.
NickandEllie.com, Equal Housing Opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV? What? No way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
Ask Phil Hicks in Greenwood about Shelter's home insurance.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work, real work, working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
TGI Fridays is the best place in Fort Smith for food, fun, and football. Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith has your favorite beers on tap. And Thursday through Sunday for bar football, all drafts are just $2. Fridays is the best place to watch football with plenty of TVs so you won't miss a second of the action while enjoying famous Fridays appetizers like the loaded potato skins or Friday's signature whiskey glazed sliders. It's food, fun, and football with $2 drafts Thursday through Sunday at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, City! There's a woman going crazy on Caroline Street, stopping every man that she does meet, saying if you'll be gentle, if you'll be sweet, I'll show you my place on Caroline Street. She claimed in a loud voice to be a dancer,
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
It's Thursday. It means it's Boneless Thursday at Buffalo Wild Wings. Buy one, get one free. Hot and crispy boneless wings. Football on wall-to-wall televisions. Got the Saints and Cowboys tonight. Your crew couldn't leave hungry if they tried, so get to Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Sherwood, and Jonesboro for the greatest of all times. Buffalo Wild Wings. BOGO, boneless wings of equal value at participating locations on Thursdays only, not valid with other offers. Size exclusions apply while supplies last. Limit 1, fees may apply. Did you guys have Tom Murphy on the Morning Rush this morning?
Yes, we did.
Did Tom Murphy talk at all about his article that I saw in the Democrat Gazette?
Yes, he did. Even the one Eric Musselman mentioned last night and his post-gamer.
Okay, good. Yes. I'm glad that this has been mentioned now so that they can take the target off my back when KJ does throw, if he does. Hopefully he doesn't because he's been so good protecting the football. Who's going to throw the blame on Tom Murphy or on someone else if he throws an interception in the upcoming bowl game? Because according to Tom Murphy, and this is accurate, 170 passes since KJ Jefferson's last interception. But that was the Hail Mary at the end of the first half against Mississippi, correct?
Was it Mississippi or Auburn?
It was Mississippi. So you had 75 more passes since then. I went back and looked because he threw an interception near the end of the Texas game, 3 passes after that. So what would that be? 200 and I got to do the math. 255 passes.
Sure, we'll go with that.
That weren't a Hail Mary since his last interception. So who's going to get called out on that one?
I'm going to guess Tom Murphy because he put pen to paper.
Yeah, once you put pen to paper, or it's not pen to paper anymore in some cases.
Fingers to keys. He put fingers to keys. You just said
mark
it.
on screen.
You just said it. So he had to.
What if he used voice to text?
Ugh.
Maybe that one doesn't qualify. If it's pen to paper, voice to air, voice to text is different.
If it was it in print? Did somebody
it's
print
somewhere
it?
in print? I don't know. Does the Democrat still print a daily edition?
No, you have to have an iPad.
You got to have an iPad. So
the Arkansas
somebody
Democrat Gazette does not have a daily paper anymore.
Not for the last few years.
Yeah, they have.
They only do Sunday. Or?
And they did this thing where it's like, oh yeah, but we'll give everybody an iPad.
Yeah, you get an iPad.
The thing is though, it wasn't.
How do I get an iPad?
It wasn't
They're
everywhere.
Gonna give me an iPad if I got like a $10 subscription to the Arkansas Democratic Gazette.
You got to keep that subscription.
Drew just sounded like the 12-year-old that figured out how he could get his own Christmas gift for himself. Yeah, there you go.
No, I figure out the kid who just figured out that what was that RCA tape scam that all of y'all used to do back in the day?
Let me ask you. So
the 10 tapes for 10 cents.
How much do you pay for the newspaper now?
I don't.
Okay, so you're gonna start paying for a newspaper.
Actually, that's not true. That's not true. I did a few months ago do like one of those $1 for 6 month subscriptions to the Commercial Appeal.
So you want to know something fun here? How I can read the paper if I want to? The guy at the previous place I worked when I first started years and years ago, he went to UCA, and his professor was a former employee of the newspaper and still had his login information. And every semester, he would give it to the entire class. And one of those students I worked with, I still have his, and then I still pass that password on.
Man, this is how I get information. I use other universities. I'm not even going to say the university. I have in other universities login credentials for like D1 baseball. That school has no idea that there are probably 25 other schools and their baseball programs that use that exact login. And they've never changed it. It's like Spaceballs, the stupidest combination to your luggage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, exactly right.
It's been 13 years at least that I've been using this UCA professors, from a college I didn't go to.
Well, I mean, I did enjoy, when I was a student using reading the newspaper because you got them for free on campus. So I would get them if it's Flyer, Commercial Appeal, USA Today.
They would put the paper in a big wooden stick, so you wouldn't be able to walk out of the library.
I'm a former newsboy too. I know we didn't say
we had actual
newsboy then.
newsstands.
We said I delivered papers for a little over a year in Pittsburgh, and I just can't imagine trying to throw a bunch of iPads onto somebody's porch any longer. I don't think that would work for anybody. Bobby's on hold. Bobby in Cave Springs. That's Hognoxious. Although you're Bobby now. You decide when you want to be hognoxious when you call in, so you're Bobby right now. Hi, Bobby. What's up?
Oh, I have to hit the button to get Robert on. Now you're on the air.
Hi, Bobby.
Hi. I tend to go by hognoxious more in the baseball season. My 83-year-old dad was really happy about getting an iPad. He still uses a flip phone.
Yeah, I'm sure that worked out great.
Yeah.
Does he know how to use the iPad, or do you have to touch it for him?
We pretty much had to set it up for him. He can almost turn it on and read the paper by himself in the morning.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Here's my question from all the people that were whining and moaning at the first half of this game, the way they've been whining and moaning at every game we've played so far. Were we playing for any championships on December 1st? Was that a trophy game or something?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay,
it's a huge game, man. It's in state. That makes it gigantic, right, Bobby?
Did we beat the 33-point ridiculous point spread that we had?
Absolutely did that in the second half alone, I think.
All right, how many losses do we have?
That'd be a big old fat goose egg.
You have one less than one.
All right. Is it wise, basketball terms, to be playing your best basketball, mistake-free basketball at this point of the season? No. No, and I'm sure all of these people will come back and say, well, when we lose a game, well, I told you if we didn't do that, we were going to lose games. Hey, guess what? If you play games, you're going to lose games. And right now, these guys have had something wrong. Every stinking game, something or somebody hadn't done right, and they still find a way to win. That's good basketball. I'm really pleased with the way this team is going so far.
All right, Bobby, I appreciate the call. And I agree. Look, I mean, at the end of the game, you see a final score, and it's like, all right, so you win the game. That's great. You move on to the next. Coaches and fans and coaches aren't the same thing, but they're still looking for something to pull out, for something to improve upon. That's just analysis. I don't know if I'd say it's necessarily complaining. Analysis on my end. I'm not complaining about anything, except I got to work with these 5 days a week.
That's a complaint? I thought that's called blessings.
You're welcome.
And sometimes Charlie, I think he might be calling next.
Cafe on Phoenix Avenue is now open 11 till 8 Monday through Saturday. Old Hog Cafe has party packs for your watch party, tailgate party, business meetings, or lunch and dinner for the family. You will see a few new items on the menu to go along with the award-winning barbecue and sides. Old Hog Cafe, Phoenix Avenue, offers online ordering at wholehogfortsmith.com, along with curbside and delivery service. Or come see us 11 till 8 Monday through Saturday. Follow Whole Hog Cafe on Facebook and Instagram for specials.
This is a special announcement for residents of Ozone, Oark, Lake Ludwig, Harmony, Mount Vernon, areas north and west of Clarksville. Wave Rural Connect is coming to you. The Clarksville Zone is opening on December 9th, bringing big city internet to rural Johnson County. Fiber internet, TV, and phone provided by Arkansas Valley Electric, a local company serving local residents. Visit waveruralconnect.com for more. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Did you know that Russell Exterior builds metal buildings too? We'll let them make your next shop, man cave, shed, or whatever it is that you've been wanting. They can also build your next deck or back porch. Whatever the project, call Russell Exterior today at 479-551-2093. They are a locally owned company that is fully licensed, bonded, and insured, so don't wait for your next project. Call Russell Exterior and make all your dreams come true. Russell Exterior, 479-551-2093, or check them out online at russellexterior.com.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
TGI Fridays is the best place in Fort Smith for food, fun, and football. Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith has your favorite beers on tap. And Thursday through Sunday for bar football, all drafts are just $2. Fridays is the best place to watch football with plenty of TVs so you won't miss a second of the action while enjoying famous Fridays appetizers like the loaded potato skins or Friday's signature whiskey glazed sliders. It's food, fun, and football with $2 drafts Thursday through Sunday at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Plenty of sunshine today. Our high this afternoon, right around 75. Will be clear to partly cloudy tonight. Overnight low in the upper 40s. Friday, partly to mostly sunny, mid-70s. And Saturday will be a much cooler day with our high temperatures upper 50s to low 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing and Drain Cleaning. Book your appointment at MrRooter.com.
Good station.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3. Live from the Bushlight Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com. Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Halftime today is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Sherwood, and Jonesboro. Buffalo Wild Wings.
Hey, hold on, it's almost halftime.
You guys are moving into the afternoon portion of your day now. I'm an afternoon veteran now. It's 1 o'clock here, Eastern time in Orlando, Florida.
What's the temperature like there?
Time and temperature. So 101, it is 71 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. We're on our way up to a high of 78, and it is a great day to be in Orlando just for the remainder of the day, and then we're getting back to Fayetteville later tonight.
That sounds very similar to what it's going to be like. I think like a 1 degree difference maybe.
Time and temperature, 12:01, 67 degrees in Barling. By the high at 1 o'clock is 72. So
that's great.
I mean, we're getting the exact same weather here.
Next road game that Arkansas women's basketball and the men's team too plays will be at the. Do I have to start referring to it as the bank that actually paid for the naming rights?
No, call it
North
Alltel.
Little Rock.
Alltel Arena.
Verizon. You know what? I've called it the arena with no teams.
The arena that needs its roof painted like 10 years ago.
Well, they have paint. They have.
Okay, I haven't been there in a while.
It doesn't look like the dump that it used to look like from the outside. They've got a new coat of paint, and maybe some other exterior things that don't make it look like just a giant garbage dumpster, which is what it looked like for years.
I haven't been there since we went to that Weird Al concert that night.
That's right, and it still looked like crap then. Mm-hmm. And it looks, at least on the outside, and on the inside they've got a new video board too. But yeah, I mean, the next road trip for Arkansas men's and women's basketball is a road trip to the Rock, where we've actually got our Pearson Christmas party the day before. Drew's not part of that.
I'm not going to be there. I've already been told this morning by boss man Tommy Kraft himself
that be present to win.
That I have to be present to get a present, and then I also have to be present to get a Christmas bonus if there are any. So like,
your presence is required to get presents.
As far as I know,
can I just get it on Thursday, or I'll pick it up on Monday?
That's not how it works.
As far as I know, because I've walked out of the Pearson Christmas party twice with large bottles.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you exactly what's in the bottle, but you can think about what it is yourself.
Milk.
You're missing out. Yes, giant
bottles of milk.
I'll
just take whatever bottles left,
Drew,
or I'll take whatever gag gift is left, or whatever.
The present I got at the Christmas party last time, Drew has. It was an air fryer.
Yes, which I really appreciate.
You've gotten a lot of usage. Yeah. I think you got more usage out of your air fryer than I did out of the bottles, because once my bottle's empty, it's empty, man.
Oh, that air fryer! I use that air fryer like 3 times a week.
I don't know how any household can live without an air fryer now.
Well, like I used to be able to back before I moved here because I had a grill, and I grilled 3-4 times a week. Now I use the air fryer basically as my grill.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good. It's just a lot easier for everybody then, isn't it? But
Yes.
you're not going to get anything this year, Drew, because
That's
you're going
not
to be
fair. I've been
you're going to
good.
be busy.
I've been
watching,
on the nice list.
You're busy. You're going to be busy watching your East-West Memphis Tigers lose to those Tennessee Vols. You're going to hear rock. I mean, goodness gracious! I was thinking about the biggest earworms possible earlier in the show because Maddie had the gall to play. Which one was it?
It's a
small world because I'm in Orlando, and yet that's the worst of all of them right there.
It's one of the top ones, but Rocky Top is definitely up there for me as one of the worst earworms.
You know what Phil has in common being in Orlando that we also have in common here in Barling?
What's that?
There's not a beach anywhere in sight.
That is true. So what did you really get out of this Florida trip? It's the exact same temperature here. It's sunny. It's nice.
Yeah, Orlando's basically, Disney World was built on swampland.
I mean,
that's why alligators eat people sometimes when they're walking down the trails.
Well, you can pay for that. That's actually, that's
really.
That's an added bonus to
haven't-
some people's, inclusive vacations at Disney
That's the
World.
best thing that happens on the whole vacation.
See the inside of the alligator's
They
stomach.
haven't
like we all
quite
want to.
figured that out yet, how to keep the alligators out of the swamps.
So what did I get out of this trip? Bacon. That's what I got.
Bacon?
Yeah.
I had bacon for breakfast.
Traveling with the teams to me means bacon.
Oh,
Mounds
but
of it.
Bacon in Florida is so much better.
What's the difference in bacon in Florida than bacon in Barling?
Well, his was free, I'm sure.
Free, man. I didn't pay for it here.
So was this the breakfast buffet?
Yeah.
So they're back.
Well, they're back. The buffets are back.
I do love a good breakfast buffet.
Mountain of bacon. I've been very good about
Omelet
not
station?
eating too much of this station. What's that?
Is there an omelet station? Omelet guy?
No, it was just scrambled eggs.
No,
Yeah.
I don't have the omelet station.
No, make your own waffles?
We don't get the omelet station until the SEC baseball tournament. I've got to wait a while for that.
That could be frustrating, too, though, because it's like I hate when there's like one or two people ahead of me trying to make waffles.
Yeah.
You've got an entire team that's going to need to make waffles in the morning. You might as well just forget the waffles at that point.
Omelet station, I used to hit that thing up every morning at the University of Memphis. Like, omelet guy, like I wouldn't even have, I'd just walk up and he'd know exactly what I wanted.
He saw you coming.
He saw me coming. He'd just
That
go ahead
does
and
the
fire
deal.
it up. Yeah.
That's
He
the
even let me
ultimate-
skip line a few times.
You ever done we've done radio shows with like people standing around watching. Sometimes you feel like you're, a zoo animal because you're like on, you're in some big room and people are on the outside
just staring
of the
at you.
glass box watching in on you and all that kind of stuff. I feel a little bit the same way about the omelet cook because everybody's standing around just watching him.
Well, yeah,
Arms
because
folded.
you can't leave, otherwise your
Arms
omelet's going to
folded,
get cold.
toes tapping, waiting, giving him that look.
Looking
Is that
at your
mine? You working
watch.
on mine yet? You working on mine yet?
Oh,
You
yeah,
working
you're
on mine
always
yet?
waiting for him to get to yours.
You better tip your omelet cook, man.
Well, I
better-
didn't at the University of Memphis because there was no tip jar,
Your
but
tip-
at a hotel nowadays, I do.
Drew's tip was keep up the good work.
Yeah. Nice little
take
pat
any
on the
wood-
back. I'll be back tomorrow.
Don't take any wooden nickels, anything like that, right?
No.
Yeah, I'm sure. No, it's good. The last time I traveled with this team was a year ago. It was over a year, and I think they're taking it's back to if things feel like they're going back to normal, even with this new variant that's going around. I mean, right now with the teams, things feel like they've gone back to normal. Like they're staying in hotels. As far as I know, they're not.
Are
doing
y'all
any-
being tested all the time still?
No, and that was the thing. Like a year ago when we went, the last time I traveled with women's basketball, it was in Fort Myers. It's always somewhere in Florida, right? And we didn't just get tested on a daily basis. It was the test that
Goes
felt
up
like
your nose?
Yeah, it felt like they were trying to, create a
your
new
brain.
unicorn.
They need
like
brain-
have the thing
a brain
stick through the
sample,
top of your
too.
head, man. But they're not doing that anymore either, thankfully. So that reality thankfully isn't lasting for us. I know for a lot of other people still, you are in the middle of the pandemic, but things certainly feel like they've changed for us around athletics. All right, I mean we've gone 8 minutes here.
I was about to say,
no Charlie.
Charlie,
No, Charlie.
should we-
do we go ahead and get to halftime homework?
We're
or-
2 minutes from break. I could hold the break and we could do it.
Yeah,
How long are you guys going to take?
Well, here's what all right. So
as long as I want. I don't know.
This is a thing that I wanted to bring up, and it's not like this isn't a theme for the show for the next couple of months, but this lockout, this baseball lockout that the owners are imposing upon the players. I mean, it's the billionaires locking out the millionaires and the 100,000-aires and all of that.
Now, who wins because of that?
I don't know. I mean, that's
nobody.
That's what
lose-lose.
That's why both of these sides are looking at it from that perspective. They've got to win. They're not going to find very much middle ground, I think, in the way that they're going about this. The owners have said that they've offered, a minimum floor, a minimum salary that teams have to pay, minimum payroll, I think essentially is what it is. As if that is going to dock the fact that teams literally try to tank and don't really try to compete, which is what the players are saying. We don't have teams that really try to compete. They're so far apart in a lot of this that it just feels to me like I'm already giving up on the start of spring training. Like if this deal is not signed by the start of February, spring training's not going to happen. I don't see there's any way that in the next 8 weeks these two sides who don't trust each other, who don't like each other, finding a way to come together. It's not going to happen. And for a baseball season that's supposed to start in April, if you can't start spring training in the middle of February, I don't see the baseball season starting on time either. So,
well, luckily, like you said, we have a few months. You've got time to try to come together, try to have some common sense of. And ultimately, you would like for the billionaires to be nicer about it instead of this whining, complaining, we're losing money. Why do you want more money? You're not losing money. Baseball revenue has gone up year in and year out. That's also why the baseball is dead crowd drives me absolutely insane. If baseball was dead, revenue would eventually go down, and it's not. So you would like for the billionaires to be nice about it and say, you're right, we'll give in, we'll do what's best for the players, for the people that make up the sport that makes us so much money. But on the other hand, those guys are billionaires because they didn't just give out money. You don't become a billionaire if you're just giving out willy-nilly. So you kind of can see it from both sides of the table. I think that a lot of the stuff that the players want is reasonable. I think that, not being locked in for 6 years or 29, I think, is the age mark of free agency, especially if you come in at 20. Like, you should be allowed to be a free agent a little bit sooner, or at least renegotiate a little bit easier. I'm a big fan of the designated hitter. I wouldn't mind seeing it across both leagues. The playoff expansion, I'm a little iffy about, but I mean, let's just get back to baseball. Like, it shouldn't be this hard.
Fans. It's like you always say, Drew.
No,
what do I always say?
You always say it? That common sense isn't so common sometimes.
That is true. I do always say
well,
that.
They're not looking at it from the common sense perspective. They're looking at it from one side wins, one side loses, and this is the kind of thing where you end up losing fans and losing a lot of attention that you should be getting because the game has been fairly healthy. But I don't know. Until you sign an agreement and people are fighting about all of this, nobody roots for either side. So that's the way I come in on this. I don't root for either side. I just want you to figure out how you're going to get back to it and, hey, force certain teams to actually try to compete. Who we got? Charlie did give us a
man.
Call. So let's go to Charlie.
Big tuna.
Let's go to Charlie, and then we will take the break. Charlie, it's good to hear from you, man. What's new?
Well, it's good, man. Listen, Phil, how dare you take a day off? It was I got accused of so many things yesterday. I got accused of hanging up. I only got to speak for 1 minute.
We're up against the break.
All these horrible things about Drew. He was doing such a great job until he started accusing me of all these horrific things. I don't know what was wrong yesterday. But anyway.
Well, everything's regular and normal again, Charlie, which includes, you're still like 10 minutes late, though, so that's not quite normal.
I know. I had to get into a better service area anyway. I'm on the way to the house. But I was going to say this last night watching the team play. Obviously, it was sloppy in the first half. We all know that. But, the team, it's something about most of the teams. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know. Are they still doing that little pregame thing that they do with the
good question. I haven't been there early enough to watch, so I think they are. I think.
Okay. I just wondered, and they say that's supposed to help them get ready for the game. I don't know. But anyway, I'm not saying they're bad or anything. I mean, they were bad in the first half, but I just, sometimes it's just, lack of energy. I just don't think they had it in the first half, and it happens, to everybody. But, we got to get some of that fixed before SEC play. But, in Musk's tenure, I've noticed, his teams tend to play a lot better in the second half. And it really just comes down to, I'm not saying he just goes in there and just chews their butts out, but obviously last night he probably did. But it just seems to me that for the most part, his teams, even when he was at Nevada, played better in the second half. And I'm not worried about this team. You know, I think we're just continuing to grow, and we're going to be all right. So, you know, we're going to keep getting better. You
Charlie,
know, people are going to complain about slow starts. But.
Yeah, and I think we'll complain about the tough starts until they don't have tough starts anymore. I think Muss would do the same thing. I'm sure. I wouldn't know what to put it on. You know, is it a lack of energy sometimes? Is it a matter that you don't buy into the opponent that you're facing? I really couldn't imagine that in, you know, a lot of cases in the SEC. Against UCA, I could perhaps, but it's tough to put your finger on why a team that is different from the year before, which was different than the year before that, routinely starts a little bit slow. Is it on the coaching staff? I don't know. But then it's also on the coaching staff for the fact that they always turn things around, or they usually do turn things around. So they say the right things at the right time, make the right adjustments, and, hey, that's sports. That is sports. Halftime is brought to you by the Fence Man. If it comes time for new gates and fence repairs at your home, the Fence Man should be your only call. They do all of it, the large commercial jobs and the small residential repairs. Things like wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, or custom wrought iron fencing. The Fence Man is the only one to call. You can call 479-782-3936 for the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. Halftime homework is next.
Feel all right, feel all right.
Make sure you tune into Hog Reaction after every Razorback football game.
Sent Ty message the other day, that after game thing you did, man, that was old school type radio, and I thought it was great. Keep up the good work, fellas.
He's got Birch at the 20, complete, trailing inside the 10. Birch is at the goal line. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. Presented
back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the #1 source for everything football. Head to your website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of these amazing offers for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab.
C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession? Admission is acknowledging the truth of something. Confession is a formal statement agreeing that you're guilty. Greg Allman admitted he's no angel, but that doesn't mean he confessed his guilt before God. Romans 10:10 says, one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Confess to God that Jesus died in your guilty place, and then you'll receive His amazing grace. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Pray about it.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. You'll find 10 bedrooms with 19 beds for up to 28 guests, 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, poker table, 2 kitchens, 2 laundry rooms, a fire pit, 2 gas grills, outdoor basketball court, a heated indoor swimming pool nearby, and a 10-minute drive to Silver Dollar City. Not to mention near some of the best golf courses. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO. We're back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the #1 source for everything football. Head to your website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your
Farm Credit is an equal opportunity lender.
This is ESPN 95.3. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
All right, we have Danny West from Hogsports.com coming up in the next segment. So while we wait for that to occur, it's time for halftime homework.
What kind of homework assignment? I have a tough assignment. I'm thinking we should talk about the homework assignment.
Dude, did you do all your homework last night?
I'm not doing it. This is hard.
You really did your homework, didn't you?
It's time for halftime homework.
What do you boys have for me today?
Well, first thing we got for you is Crabtree RV Center in Alma, the dealership that served you in the River Valley in Northwest Arkansas for over 70 years. That's Crabtree RV Center, helping every family find the best experience from choosing the right RV for your adventures. And they have that service and parts department that takes care of you if there's a breakdown. Everything you need at their 17-acre, 26,000-square-foot showroom floor at the junction of I-40 and I-49. Crabtree RV, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years and 4 generations. You can find their entire inventory at crabtreerv.com. So you see where the college football playoff / invitational committee yesterday emerged from their hotel rooms in Grapevine, Texas, and they did not find any middle ground for any kind of expansion. So they'll continue talking about it in January. So as of right now, we're still at an invitational of 4 teams. And Drew, your assignment here is to go back through the history of college football, and delineate to me and our listeners, your students, where the changes have occurred through who decides the national champions and how those championships are decided. And we've had multiple years. The last season that there was a split national title was 2003. LSU won the BCS,
but that doesn't count.
USC still, NCAA actually recognizes that championship from USC in 2003. It's right there on their website. So if it doesn't count to you, it counts for the NCAA.
I was about to say, I don't feel like this is going to take me a lot of research to do because I know a lot of the history of college football. I just got to get the dates right.
Well, so there's a lot of other differences though here, but aside from the idea that we've made this change from the BCS, where the computers decided everything, to the playoff committee, where you got human beings deciding it. Of course, all these years you had not just the 2 polls, the AP and the UPI. I mean, there were multiple polls thrown out there.
NFAA.
FWAA.
FWAA.
There's tons of them, and there were years where for years. Maybe longer than we've had the national championship decided after the bowl season. Like the national champion was decided before bowl season, before any of the bowl games. In fact, that's Arkansas's 1964 national championship was before a bowl game. So, this is the only sport where we've had ways, so many different ways to choose who the champion is. And this is the overriding theme of our show, and this station is college football. So your assignment is to go to the start of the sport and detail the years and when these changes occurred and who did the voting and why those changes were made. Because we're about to be I
have to go all the way back to like 1879.
You got to go to the year 0. See what happened
gotta go back
in
to
Roman days.
To Rutgers, Princeton.
I need to know how people decided the champions of the Roman Colosseum too. So go all the way back there. We're going 2,000 years. Okay.
Got it.
The other thing that you're going to do, and Maddie played a song from it coming into the segment here. We were talking last night amongst the coaching staff from women's basketball. Mike Neighbors has this great collection of music, including cassette tapes. And I still have a little nostalgia for cassette tapes because those are the things that I grew up purchasing first before CDs, became the norm. The first cassette tape that I bought myself at National Record Mart, right there on Forbes Avenue in Squirrel Hill, was Arena by Duran Duran. You can hear it playing in the background here. Now this is a live album of many of the hits of Duran Duran's first 3 albums, I think. So go back and listen to it. You'll recognize a lot of these songs. But I need you to listen to the lyrics of this song, Hungry Like the Wolf, and let me know what it means, because I never knew the meaning of it until late last night.
I'll
assignment.
do my best.
I've known since today.
Yeah.
And I was a little surprised.
Today years old when
I was
you
a little
told me,
surprised because I remember the first Guitar Hero game. This was like one of the main songs on it.
It was. Well, did you do your homework assignment?
I don't even remember what my homework assignment was.
Bro, what a good student.
My homework assignment has been football and basketball for the last couple of weeks.
No, that's not fair. You can't keep assigning me multiple homework assignments. You realize the last 2 weeks you have assigned me 2 things? I had listened to 2 albums this week.
You have a lot to learn.
You've already done the thing that you were assigned earlier this week.
Reservoir Dogs.
And
I did Reservoir
watch
Dogs, too. I'm doing multiple assignments a week, and you can't even remember what your homework was.
That's right. I didn't even take the moment to write it down.
Even I can't remember.
Wait a minute. Was it Letterkenny?
Yes. It was. You had to watch episodes of a few episodes of Letterkenny.
Is that on Netflix?
It's on Hulu.
Okay.
Too busy watching HBO shows, and I forgot to watch Letterkenny.
I've
written it on my pad here. I have put circles around it and quotation marks around it and all sorts of other things so that I can see exactly what it is.
So, Maddie, should I be nice and allow him another week extension?
Just tell him to skip it.
Technically, he's had 2 weeks to do this. You've had 2 weeks to get your assignment.
He's been really busy, though. A lot of traveling.
I will give you 1 more week's extension before I'm going to have to report you to the chancellor. It's just going to happen. I'm sorry. But I'll give you 1 more week to watch Letterkenny. You don't have to watch all of it. Just watch a few episodes. Let me know what you think, because I love Letterkenny. And like you said, this is all about getting to know each other, sharing our favorite things with each other. So, and by the way, the 2 albums, the Police album, wasn't a big fan. Really wasn't.
It's very dark, brooding stuff.
It's half of it reminded me of too much of ongoing jazz that just has no place there. It's not going anywhere. It's just their type of music. A few songs were good. And, of course, it has the Creeper anthem on it of all time.
It's an uneasy album. It's not an album that you would describe as easy listening.
Didn't like it. Payback by James Brown, though. It was good. I mean, you can't not like it. It's long as heck. It's like eight songs, but it's an hour and 15 long album. Like each song's like 8 minutes.
Right, because basically James Brown's songs were his band kind of vamping for a while, and James just kind of doing his thing, making up his own lyrics as he went along in many cases.
Which, it was good. I liked it.
Jesse in Mountain Home asked about how much money I owe. That's right. I owe BMG. It was Columbia House was the service that I owed money to.
You just send in a penny.
Yeah, you get 10 CDs for 1 penny. They don't tell you that you're basically if you don't pay them exactly what they told you to pay a month later, that you're going to end up paying $13 a month for the rest of your life, and there was a lot more money than I had back then.
All of their stuff was way overpriced. Like if you went to a Hastings at the time, that was a store, CD's $13, but theirs would be like $20. So you were overpaying for all of their stuff that you had to buy.
Columbia House even a thing anymore? Nope.
It can't be.
We've got these phones. That's exactly right. All right, we better step aside because Danny West from hogsports.com will join us next, so stay tuned.
Halftime is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center. 4 generations making your family dreams come true.
This year's Value Bonanza sales event at Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat in Northwest Arkansas gives you more ways to save. Save big with 0% financing and cashback offers on select New Holland tractors, hay, and forage products, and materials handling equipment. These offers end December 31st, so make the trip to Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat in Northwest Arkansas today. You get more choices and more savings when you buy during Value Bonanza. For commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required.
In college football, Goodyear knows a new season means new possibilities, where every Saturday is an opportunity on the road to greatness. No matter if you're out there playing your hardest or cheering the loudest from the sidelines, tailgating in the parking lot, or your favorite spot to watch the game, Goodyear knows passion is what drives us forward all the way to the playoffs. That's the road that moves us. Goodyear, more driven.
Looking for a fence company that will provide the personal touch to your fence or gating project? Call Dusty's Fence Company at 479-629-4190. Dusty's Fence Company specializes in custom wood design, vinyl fencing, chain link and ornamental iron projects, and they can even stain your fence to complete your project. Family owned and in business for 20 years, you will deal with the same person from start to finish. That's Dusty's Fence Company, 479-629-4190.
The Big Hardy has 2 juicy charbroiled beef patties, melted cheese, and classic sauce. It's what you order from Hardee's when you want a big meal. A big, beefy, melted, cheesy meal. And with 3 juicy charbroiled beef patties, the really Big Hardy is what you order when you want a really big, meaty meal. A really big charbroiled beefy meal. A really big, beefy, melted, cheesy, juicy, tasty. You get the idea. The Big Hardy and Really Big Hardy at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Available for a limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price of participation may vary.
Let Carco Car Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley in eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating people right. The friendly and knowledgeable staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced right to fit your budget, so you can leave with a peace of mind knowing that you are getting a quality, well-maintained vehicle. Come see the team at Carco Auto Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, at 2810 Midland Boulevard today. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales, when you're ready.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Champion Cycling, located at 5500 Massard Road, is a locally owned bike shop in Fort Smith that wants to help you find the joy in cycling that has been a part of their family for years. Their goal is to find the right bike for you, whether it's a road bike, mountain bike, or just a bike for leisure. Champion Cycling is totally stocked and has a large selection of bikes, including brands from Specialized, Pivot, and Look. Whether it's fixing a flat tire or a basic tune-up, their dependable service department is always ready to help. Stop by Champion Cycling today at 5500 Massard Road, and they will help you find your joy in cycling.
Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith now has vaccinations available for ages 5 and up. Law's Drug Store has the Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Moderna vaccines. These vaccines are safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Gonna pack up some of these empties here just as soon as we know we're delayed. Tired of living jolly and leaving lines on a long high summer day.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. The Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, Hog Reaction, Coffee with Counsel, Huddle Up, and Fantasy Football Sunday. All available on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just type Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Our podcasts are on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, HitThatLine.com, Anchor, TuneIn, Stitcher, and Google Play. Brought to you by Breeden RV Center.
And Danny West joining us from hogsports.com, part of the 24/7 Sports Network. Busy man this time of the year. It's deer season too, and Danny, I mean, you're an outdoorsman, so I mean, how do you feed the need to be out in the woods while also at the same time it's recruiting season? Can these things mix together for somebody that is so good at both of these things as you are?
Well, I wouldn't. First of all, I'm not very good at deer hunting, but I do enjoy it. I'll tell you this, though, it does seem to dwindle away as we get closer to signing period. My time is pretty strapped right now, so yeah, I would say the early October, even late October, but you start getting into late November, buddy, it's hard to find a day to get away.
Well, I know you're a better hunter than me because I've never done it before. So
you need to go with me sometime, Phil.
We can plan something out at some point. Maybe we'll figure it out. Did I see one of the crazy pieces of this Lincoln Riley to USC story? Did I see one of his assistants at OU was doing maybe a little dual recruiting, according to one of the recruits at USC? And he said something about he had visited with a recruit there. Or Riley said he's doing some work for us, and at the same time I saw where a guy that OU had been targeting, he had visited him the same day. Was there a little dual recruiting going on there?
Yeah, that's what I read as well. Obviously, I don't know for fact what exactly happened, but we've seen that before. Obviously, it blows up when you're talking about two schools like USC and Oklahoma. But I've heard of stuff like that before. It's it's a shame that goes on, but that's part of it. Guys take new jobs and they want to keep that foot in the door, and sometimes it blows up in their face, and maybe that's what happened here. He just got caught.
Transfer portal's nuts these days. What did I say? There's an account that I follow where over the course of an hour yesterday or the day before, over the course of an hour, like 17 different tweets about players.
NCAA portal run by 24/7?
Yeah,
it's Rivals, isn't it?
It's nuts. So, and
we'll go with 24/7.
We'll go with 24/7.
Okay, yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I thought it was.
So, it's a prevailing thought. Arkansas is going to be probably adding somebody out of the transfer portal, and so what are the next couple of weeks like? Because you got early signing day coming up, all these guys in the portal. It's kind of nuts at the same time while you're trying to figure out what bowl game you're going to.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of moving parts there, but obviously for Arkansas, they do have some very specific needs, in my opinion. I mean, if you lose a John Ridgway, which I think most people think he's going to move on, he's obviously going to take part in the Senior Bowl, or was at least invited to do so. So you've got defensive line needs. Grant Morgan, Hayden Henry, they're going to leave quite a hole at linebacker. We'll see if Bumper wants to come back. If he were to leave too, now you're talking about a really big hole. But, those two spots in particular, and there's other spots too now. I mean, if you could find a lockdown corner out there, I think you have to like your chances of trying to attract one of those. And then wide receiver, believe it or not, it's not all about Traylon Burks. Obviously, those are pretty big shoes to fill alone. But then you think about Davion Warren and Tyson Morris getting out of here as well. So quite a few spots that I think they could potentially, use a guy immediately. So that's when you talk about the timeline there, obviously you want to go ahead and get this 2022 class wrapped up in about 13 days now. So the good news in that regard, Phil, is all of those guys are super solid. We're not sitting here talking about, are they going to hang on to this one? No drama, nobody on Twitter saying, well, I might take this late visit that I'm aware of anyway. So that's the good thing about it. I think they've got some good kids that have been solid with them, even before they went on this, 8-4 campaign that they had this year. Those guys were ready to sign immediately as soon as they committed. So hats off to them. I think that takes a lot of stress off of the coaches. But sure, to answer your question, I think we're on the verge of seeing Arkansas start to tap into that portal.
And not just that these guys are ready to sign, but they're ready to get to school. Like if I read your column in 17 January enrollees, I mean, that's got to be the most they've ever had.
It's the most I can recall. I know that much by far. I think last year they had 11, and I remember saying the same thing. I think that's the biggest number. Well, now you add 6 more to that, and could be more. You know, if they close out with a guy or two here and there that is also an early enrollee, man, 17 already, that's quite a bit. There's a lot of benefit from that. And, you know, when you have that much turnover, attrition, I guess, with a huge senior class and a lot of those guys opting not to come back for a COVID sixth year, super senior year, whatever you want to call it, then, yeah, you've got scholarships available. Why not bring them in, get them acclimated as far as school, let them go through spring ball. There's probably quite a few guys there that could potentially help as a true freshman, so I think it's gonna be a positive for him.
Danny, as far as, you know, with the transfer portal being as big and as instrumental in building programs and how much of a role it plays in college athletics today, when it comes to recruiting, have you noticed, or do you know if like any different type of methods used in difference between recruiting a transfer versus a high school, or is there any difference between the recruitment processes?
Yeah, probably so, in terms of, you know, just addressing a specific need, like we talked about with D-line and linebacker. Kids are smart, you know, college kids are smart too. They can look around and tell, okay, Buster Brown's getting out of there. They're going to have a hole to fill, and I think I could go fill it. So I think there is some of that. Whereas maybe with a high school kid, you might the lingo might be a little bit different. Hey, in 2 years, this guy's going to be out of here. I do think there's more of an immediate approach, urgency type deal with a transfer that you know, you don't have to promise all these things and hope the kid believes you. He can see it for himself. Like, you've got a spot to fill, and I think that obviously plays to your advantage. But having said that, everybody's got that, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to sell that and try to make the college kid believe that. But with a guy like Sam Pittman, I think he's a pretty believable guy.
Yeah, and with the transfer portal starting to really ramp up, and you know, some people's names being rumored about to go in, or some people actually putting their name in, you still have the guys that put on their social media. I know I saw a few people from Auburn, and I think I want to say a guy from Florida put on their social media saying, I signed with the school, not the coach. I think when most people think about recruiting, about these high school guys making their decision, it's about the coaching staff. It's about that relationship they build. Is it closer to a 50-50 of signing with the school rather than the coach, or do you think it's actually close to where we all believe of being, you know, north of 80% you sign with the coach?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a case-by-case deal. I would argue that for an in-state kid, take a kid from, you know, Greenland, Arkansas, J.J. Hollingsworth, that guy's probably going to Arkansas no matter who the coach is, right? D-line coach, head coach. If the Razorbacks offer an in-state kid, I would say, you know, there's a really, really good shot that he's going there regardless of record, head coach, assistant coach, any of that. But there are cases where, you know, obviously out-of-state kids, things can be a little bit different. I've seen it time and time again where, you know, if not for a specific coach, Justin Stepp was a great example of this, the former wide receivers coach here. He brought in all these four-star guys simply because he's a really good recruiter, and he outworked a lot of other coaches going for the same kids. And so to answer your question, Drew, I think probably most of it is what you're thinking. You know, It probably is for the coach, but sure, for an in-state guy, or a guy, even a guy like Bumper Pool, maybe not an in-state guy, but certainly Hog legacy, grew up cheering for a specific team. Yeah, I think there's some of those cases as well.
Speaking of, you know, the upcoming class, 2022 incoming class, I saw where a couple of pledges got boosted in the rankings. Offensive line pledge, Patrick Kutas, if I'm saying his name correctly, and Monty Powell, linebacker out of Fayetteville, both have gotten a little boost, which helps the class rankings out.
It does, yeah. You know, I went all summer thinking, okay, trying to crunch the numbers and do the math. How are they going to avoid a slide? Because they are short on scholarship numbers this year. They're not going to sign a full class of 25. Granted, a lot of other teams won't either because they're replacing so many super seniors that came back this year. So, you know, when I looked at it, I said, man, they're probably going to slide because they're already just about as full as they're going to get, as good as they're going to get, unless a couple of guys later in the year go on to have a really good senior year and work their way up the rankings, the player rankings, then that gives them a shot to stay, you know, somewhere in the top 25 for sure. But right now you're at 18 in the country. That's in 2004, that's the highest they were ever rated under Coach Nutt in the 24/7 Sports online rankings era. 18th is the highest Arkansas has ever finished, and right now they're at 18th, so a chance to tie that mark. And certainly you bring up a good point there. I think it does help them to avoid that slide because, you know, you look behind you, and you got Ole Miss and Auburn and Florida, teams that traditionally are going to move past, maybe not Ole Miss, but Auburn, Florida, Oklahoma State. A lot of those teams are going to, they've only got 13, 15 guys on board right now. They're going to start to emerge and maybe even pass you. So any little bit of a bump helps Arkansas hold on right now. So congrats to Patrick and Manny. I thought Manny really deserved a bump and was fortunate to get that, especially having a serious injury. You know, he tore his ACL this year, so I was a little bit concerned if he would still get that bump, and sure enough, he did.
Last thing, I know, and I'll ask about the guys visiting maybe early next week because I know Samuel Mbake and a few other guys are going to be visiting, so maybe we'll ask next week how that went. But I saw Solomon Wright is in the transfer portal, and this is a defensive lineman that never got on the field for Arkansas this last year. He's one of the first guys that I remember hearing going into the transfer portal right now. Was this somebody that you thought might have a chance to stick and show something in the coming years at Arkansas?
You know, no disrespect to Solomon, but I always questioned it based on his size. You know, he's not a very big guy for that particular position in the SEC. So I always did kind of question how long he might be able to stick around, and it was either going to be really, really quick that he was going to start to play, or it was never going to happen for him. And typically that's the case with an undersized guy like that. He's either super quick and super strong, or he's just smaller and probably not going to fit in very well. So best of luck to him. I thought he was I barely got to know him in the recruiting process. His offer kind of came out of nowhere when he flipped from Texas Tech at the time. So don't really know the young man all that well, but want to wish him the best.
Okay. Well, appreciate you very much, Danny. Thanks for coming on today on Thursday, and hopefully we can figure something out for next week, too. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you. Thanks.
Appreciate it, Danny.
You got it. Danny West, 24/7 Sports, hogsports.com, the website. All right. You might be doing cold water bass fishing. You need to be using a Yumbrella Flash Mob Junior. This is the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad. You can work it from the top of the water column to the bottom. If you're trying to win a bass tournament or just whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Yumbrella Flash Mob Junior is going to catch them for you. You'll find it at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yumbrella Flash Mob Junior. All right, one more segment left here on halftime. You got NFL football later on tonight. Cowboys versus the Saints. We got to figure out exactly what Drew is going to get a young person in his life for a gift.
Yes.
Right back.
It's getting colder, and that means it's time to winterize your RV at Breeden RV.
Back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the #1 source for everything football. Head to your website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of these amazing offers for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession? Admission is acknowledging the truth of something. Confession is a formal statement agreeing that you're guilty. Greg Allman admitted he's no angel, but that doesn't mean he confessed his guilt before God. Romans 10:10 says, one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Confess to God that Jesus died in your guilty place, and then you'll receive His amazing grace. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Pray about it.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. You'll find 10 bedrooms with 19 beds for up to 28 guests, 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, poker table, 2 kitchens, 2 laundry rooms, a fire pit, 2 gas grills, outdoor basketball court, a heated indoor swimming pool nearby, and a 10-minute drive to Silver Dollar City. Not to mention near some of the best golf courses. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO. We're back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the #1 source for everything football. Head to your website.
Call 784-2000 or visit AOGC.com and switch to natural gas today. AOG, energy for life.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Ask Shelter Agent Wade Gilkey about renter's insurance.
This is ESPN 95.3. Are you entered to win free mortgage for a year? Go to hitthatline.com for more details. Brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell and Matt Fowler at Highlands Residential Mortgage and Mountain Home. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Hey, who's got plans for the weekend? I'm headed to the fort tomorrow night. The boys are going out.
There we
We're
are.
going to have an evening out. We will try to stomach Ty Richardson for an entire night. I think we can handle this.
He's paying it. He's paying the bill, so I think we can.
Should be a lot of fun. Well, maybe we'll end up at 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, huh?
I'm down.
They're open till 1 tomorrow,
Miss Gogi.
midnight tonight. Why not? This is a great place to cap off your night. Heck, it's a great place to start your night. Finest spirits, great wine, great drinks, best cigars you'll find anywhere in the state of Arkansas. And it's all in an atmosphere that feels a lot less like a bar and just more like a nice upscale lounge. Plus, you're not going to smell like your cigar. Air replacement system replaces the air every 4 minutes. Inside 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Go to 906lounge.com. You can find their Facebook page for their specials and events. That's at 906 Garrison Avenue in Fort Smith.
So there's good news and bad news about 906. They are open today, and Will Mendenhall, soulful and bluesy guitar and vocals, will be performing from 7 to 10, but they're closed tomorrow for a private party.
Did Ty already rent it out for us?
Is that for our party?
I guess it might be for us. Huh? Did we
remember
ruin the
this,
surprise?
This was from the extremely scientific popularity poll from like 3 months ago.
Yes. No, this is 6 months ago. I had just started.
This was right when you started?
We had started this 2 weeks into me co-hosting the show. And I thought there's no way we win. Nobody knows who the heck I am.
Somehow,
and if they do, they already hate me.
You won them over.
I guess I did. My great wit and charm just...
Well, everything's on Ty tomorrow, so, literally everything's on Ty. We get to dump a drink on him as well as him buying them all.
Really?
for
That's
us.
a part of the deal. Okay,
It'll be
cool.
a lot of fun.
cool.
Don't tell him I said that because he's not aware that that's part of the deal.
He's not listening
We don't
right
have
now
to
anyways.
drink White Claws, though, do we? Just
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that's not happening. We're
That
gonna have
wasn't a part of the deal.
Real drinks, guys. Ben says Ty's taking us to Chuck E. Cheese.
They serve beer there now, so, I mean, it could be worse.
Do they really sell beer at Chuck E.
They
Cheese?
do.
They used to when I was a kid, I know. I wasn't drinking it. My parents were.
Not from something I did. I had a fraternity brother that has a great Chuck E. Cheese story. It is not safer on air, though.
Back in my day, Chuck E. Cheese was called Showbiz, and it wasn't a stupid mouse. It was a hillbilly bear named Billy Bob.
Hey, man, I went to Chuck E. Cheese when it first came out, and Chuck E. Cheese scared the absolute crap out of my younger sister.
Do they?
I just looked at him and told him that I hope a 6-foot cat didn't come and find him.
Didn't I tell you my first celebrity crush was the cheerleader mouse that was in his
You
band?
did tell me
Yeah,
that,
she was
and I
cute.
thought it was a little weird, but hey. Not here to kink shame, okay? It is what it is.
Don't judge.
I'm not judging. No judgment.
I'm going to get up there and play with the hydraulic band and sing with the hydraulic band.
I always wanted to
that was fun.
push that gorilla out of the way and take over on his keyboards. Let him show him how I can
the gorilla's
tickle the
name.
ivory.
Well, because we only have like a minute left. But speaking of things, because I need ideas, and we could bring up more ideas tomorrow, but I do want to say happy birthday to my 9-year-old niece. She turned 9 today. Happy birthday, Miss Miley. Love you. Hope it's a great day.
Is she
But the
listening?
thing is, she may be. She may. At least her father is. I know. Her father's listening, so he'll appreciate it. But I need ideas. I don't know what to get a 9-year-old for her birthday and then Christmas here in 3 weeks either.
Slime. Kids love slime.
Kids love slime.
See,
That's
she
a
does
fact.
like science and stuff
The
like that.
great part about
so-
this situation is that you can buy the slime without having to worry about cleaning the crap
That
up.
is true. Let her parents
Because
deal
that's
with
what
that.
every parent fears. It's like you can buy all the Play-Doh for these kids that you want because you're not going to step on the Play-Doh when it's 3 months old and rock hard on the floor.
That is very true. That's a good idea. But like, it's so weird her being born like at the beginning of December because you have to buy her a birthday present. I'm not a terrible uncle, but then you have to also turn around and buy her a Christmas present. So, or I just get one big one and say it's for both because I don't know if that's good either.
Because then she's going to cry, man. And then
That
you're not
feels like
great-
a cop out,
then
right?
You're
Like
not
just
a great
getting one
uncle.
big one.
The good news is you have 11 months where you don't have to worry about buying her.
That is true.
Take her to Chuck E. Cheese, Drew.
Buy her a pitcher of beer.
Buy her a pitcher of beer for her 9th birthday.
Yeah.
No, I'll go full on Breakfast Club. I'll just toss her a carton of smoke. Say, smoke up, Miley.
Only if it's O'Doul's and candy cigarettes. Then it's
Okay.
okay. Yeah. All right. Back with you guys tomorrow. Been a lot of fun. For Drew and Maddie, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.
Atchley Air is proud to be an official sponsor of Razorback Athletics. Our service to the